Hello. I do believe we are live. Got a big announcement to make tonight, and I'm nervously excited about making it. So stay tuned for that. I do want to talk about, and I'm trying to watch the chat here too. I do want to talk about what is happening in the reselling world and how, boy, I have been doing a lot of rethinking about what does the future hold? What does the future hold? It's no longer just, it's not the days of like just list it and it sells kind of stuff. It's getting tricky. So we're going to talk about that tonight. And thank you for hitting that thumbs up. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. Truly, YouTube has been life-changing. Like, I never dreamed in a million years this would be a career path, and it's been very interesting to be part of what's happening in the whole YouTube world too, because things are rapidly changing with that, which is also changing the reseller world. It's all kind of mixed together. I was in the car with the kids, and I was kind of like, talking with them about some things leading up to tonight about, I asked them, I said, do you think that 2020 kind of like set the world in motion for like a new revolution, so to speak, like the Industrial Revolution and like the computer age and all those things? I feel like 2020 was, when the history books go back and talk about it, it started something. It lit a fire for things to go in another direction. And I think one of those was, number one, while YouTube was like a thing already, YouTube was a search engine. YouTube was known as the second largest search engine, Google being the first. And then like, oh, wait, look, Google owns YouTube. Look how that works. But YouTube is not a search engine anymore. Did you know that? You guys know that? Which is why it's getting, like, I see people now starting channels and now trying to get some traction growing a channel. And it has become much harder. It is this. I not grew up. Well, my computer, grow up, right? And computers didn't come out until the 80s. I got my first computer in 1984. Tandy color computer. Your hard drive was a cassette recorder. But it used to be, and I totally just lost my train of thought there. I know what I was going to say. So I'm already an adult by the time, so when I say I grew up with, we have watched the development of the computer age. If you are my age or older, we have seen this whole thing come about, and the changes. And it's really interesting talking with young people of they have no idea that there was a world without computers. It just is a thing. We have had to learn computers, and that is how I got my start on YouTube, teaching mostly seniors how to deal with all of the technology required around reselling. And then it was pretty much eBay and Etsy were what I taught. And so we are now in the age of video selling. I mean, like it or not, this is where we're at. I was watching a thing with Gary Vee. He's always kind of pushed reselling. He's always kind of pushed if you need to make money, and I don't know why my microphone is so doggone blasted far away from me. He's always been go to a thrift store, go find something and flip it. That's been his thing. And that has been a thing for a lot of people. And then thrift stores started catching on. Number one, I started eBay back in 1998. Have you guys heard the story of how I found out about eBay? Because I remember it as if it was yesterday, which is crazy because it's what, 20? This is my 28th year on eBay? 28 years. 28 years, yes. It started out as a fairly simple, like all websites were fairly simple back then. Was it in DOS? I don't know. I think it was a little more advanced than DOS, but not quite. For those who remember DOS. But it was something that was unheard of. It was this thing that magically now people like myself who were buying and selling things in person at flea markets and antique fairs and that kind of, all of a sudden you've got a venue to sell things where you don't have to go and do all the setup and all the things. And so I was absolutely thrilled when eBay came into the picture, and it became like a lifestyle for me in those early days. Like the first 10 years of my eBay life, like I lived, breathed, and slept eBay. And I thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I sold lots of stuff on eBay. And then I started teaching others to do it, but things have changed. Things have changed. And I will, as I'm sitting here right now today, I'm not a big fan of eBay anymore. And that feels it feels like a breakup. It felt like a breakup when it first happened. Now it just feels like I'm talking about a divorce that happened, even though we're still amicable, as it were. I still sell on eBay. Not very much, though. I cross-post to eBay, Poshmark, and Etsy. But my own nicheladyshop.com, my Shopify site is like, that's my main selling site now. But out of all the places that I cross-post, eBay's the lowest. I make the least amount of money on eBay doing the same work because I'm taking that listing and cross-posting it. I use List Perfectly and I put it on all three sites, and eBay's at the bottom of the barrel for all of that. Oh my gosh, why is there a ticker? But yeah, you know what? That code will still work if you want to use it. I am so bad about taking my tickers off. There we go. Sorry about that. That was bad of me. That's a really good way to get my attention too, is that big, bold question. Because I do want to interact and answer your questions tonight too. So don't feel like you can't jump in and ask me something. You remember when the value of antiques tanked after eBay and the internet for quite a while? Yet certain ones. So what eBay did was made people realize they didn't have a rare item anymore, that it just fell into the supply and demand chain of, I don't have anything. Oh, I do. I have a Lalique bird on my desk. So, okay, now I have this Lalique bird for sale. And whereas locally, I may have been like the only one at the flea market who had one for sale, and I could ask $100. Now eBay comes along and we realize that, oh, look, there's 50 people that have that bird. And I don't see any way to fight this. This has been happening since the beginning of reselling. Somebody's always willing to undercut somebody else. And the more of that item that there is, the more the undercutting will happen so that somebody is trying to get the sale. We call that the race to the bottom. But on rare items, at some point, it becomes rare again. So if it's not a mass marketed item and it truly is something that's pretty rare, you can hold out on your price knowing what you know about the value. It's just like we have yard sales, we have thrift stores that are a little bit higher than yard sales, and then you have like antique malls where it's now curated and put in there. It's no different in the online world. So don't feel because somebody is pricing it cheap that is actually the market value. That might be the value at the point that somebody's paying for it. But knowledge in this business will tell you the items that you hold out on and the items that you go ahead and go, yeah, that is never going to come back down because there are thousands of them out there and everybody's racing to sell it. How would you sell 120 pieces of Christmas dishes? You know what I would do first? I would try to sell it locally. I would try to put it on like Facebook Marketplace. And that sounds like a nightmare to me. If I were to sell it and it was worth it, I would piece it out. I would not try to sell it as a whole set. I would try to sell it as a whole set first locally with no shipping. If I had to list it and sell it, then I would do it. Piece it out or like in pairs of items or maybe even 4 if it's like smaller dishes. Yep. I hear nothing but negatives regarding eBay, regarding the fees, people being cut off with no notice of why. Yeah, eBay, I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's happened to eBay. Do I have anybody here that's in Australia? I know it's like the middle of the night in Australia right now. But there was a documentary released. It has not been released in the US yet. And I can't even tell you. Does anybody know the name? It talks about the eBay scandal that happened several years ago. The one where Devin Wenig was the president and he is quoted as saying, do whatever it takes to stop this very active blogger, like written blog, not a video blog, but a blog. And some horrible things were done to them. And I am so happy that couple, it's the Steiners, Ina Steiner and her husband. I'm so happy that they persevered and they are still going strong. And that Noah's cooking a pizza, that they did not let that stop them and that they are still going strong. But so there was a documentary made about that. Was it 60 Minutes Australia? No, it was a private production company because they came here and spent a day with me. And I'm in that documentary talking very, very openly about my feelings about eBay and what went on. And when they started turning into a very cliquey company and like they were pushing people out and bad things happening. So I talked about my personal experience with that and what I saw happening. Now, fast forward, here we are. eBay is no longer that community-based company. I mean, they're still very much a part of the community, still connected, but they are the exception, not the rule. eBay has become just a mass market of stuff. And sadly, what has happened is they've gone the route of like, we want to be like Amazon. They've gotten up on stage every year that I've gone to an event and said, we don't want to copy the other guys. We don't want to be like Amazon. And yet everything they do is let's feed people to death and be like Amazon and have all these commodity items. And it's no longer the unique one of a kind things that built eBay. Now, I think Etsy's doing a little better in the antiques collectibles market because Etsy has stayed true to its niche. It has stayed true to, it's got to be over 20 years old vintage, or it's got to be handmade, or a piece or part to make something handmade. They've gone through their growing pains as well, testing out third-party market. So there is there's a lot more of like they call it the CCC. Do you guys know what CCC stands for? Well, let me see. I'm going to wait for the lag to see if you know what the initial CCC stands for when it comes to product that is out there on the market. You quit eBay years ago. Yeah. Didn't like selling on eBay. Been selling on Etsy now for 2.5 years, but I've learned so much watching. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad. Here's the thing about me. I am a business person. Like, this is my business. I'm not doing this for a hobby. This is how I make my living. I must sell a large quantity of items in order to sustain my income. Yes, I make money from YouTube, but I do believe last year my reselling did more than YouTube. And YouTube has changed drastically. The market has really flipped. I don't want to depend on YouTube. I want to depend on what I have control over, which is my reselling. So I dig really hard into like the what is happening, how are things changing, how is the algorithm, it's all AI now. All these companies are using AI, and that makes me crazy. Nobody knows what CCC is? Come on. I'll give you the first word, cheap. Yeah. Yeah. And this is so me, Michelle. That is what it has to do with. Yeah. We still have to wade through the stuff. Whatever it takes is the title of that documentary. Thank you. I do believe they will get to the American market. It's all about funding. They're working hard to get it brought. Like, everything is money. Like, we are a money-driven culture now. And so in order for a network to take it, it's money. So if it does well in the Australian market, then they probably have the clout to bring it to the US. So Pamela says, I no longer source from thrift stores. I found it very time consuming for little reward, especially with higher prices. Is anyone seeing an increase in what people are spending? So let's talk about that, because I started going there. So big corporate eBay putting profits over people. Not a big fan. The fee me to death thing is just getting old. And the thing is, I am perfectly fine paying 20, even 30% of fees, which I do over on Cherish. It's 30% if I know up front. Like, eBay wants to come across as only charging, 10 or 11%. But if you don't pay to play, if you don't pay the extra, now they made it a minimum of 2% now. So if you don't pay to play, they're just not going to show your listing. You're still going to pay for your listing, either in having an eBay store with so many listings included, or paying for the listings. You're going to pay for the listing with no guarantee that it's ever going to be brought in front of somebody looking to buy that item. And that, to me, that is just shady as all get out, if you ask me. I'm just saying. If you go way back in my videos, when they first changed to their managed payments, and they made this big deal, it's not going to cost you anymore, even though we're now charging you the fee on the total of the transaction. Danny was doing the math going, this is not right. Yes, you are, because now you're going to charge me, let's just round it to 15%. Let's say 15% on what normally I would have been charged, that 15% on just a $10 sale. Now you're going to charge me like $20, on $20 because of that, the whole sales tax and shipping that I now have to pay this commission on. And the one that really got me was the sales tax. Like, you should not be charging commission on sales tax. That is no. But they have very deceptively encompassed it in it's a transaction fee for handling the money. Not. So that's been one of my biggest beefs with eBay, is when they started that shenanigans. And that's when we started, heading for divorce, so to speak. And then it's like, okay, eBay, you're not the only market out there anymore. And eBay is struggling. They just did a massive layoff of personnel, and some really good people too. I personally know some of the people that were laid off. And that tells me we got some trouble in paradise. So they're either going to figure it out and they're going to flip it around and they're going to come back to where, they were, or they're not. And they're just going to be another marketplace out there. Yeah, I don't use Facebook Marketplace because of too much of my business presence is on social media. And I don't want like a bad transaction on Facebook Marketplace to affect my ability to make money on Facebook and do the other things that I do there. So that's why I don't use it. I think it's perfectly fine for most people to use Facebook Marketplace. It is scandalous, right? It's every CPA I have ever talked to has told me it's illegal to charge a commission on sales tax. But see, here's the thing. It has not been challenged. I am sure it would not hold up in a court of law if anybody actually wanted to challenge eBay. But they know nobody's going to challenge them. They know nobody's going to hire an attorney to fight them over, the dollars spent on those fees. So they get away with it. They just get away with it. So there's that. And then the thrift stores. So, I know you can go back and find video after video where I was sticking up for Goodwill. I wanted to believe that they were doing tremendous good. And I still think they provide a lot of jobs. They provide job training and good services. They do. I'm not going to deny them that. But they've also become very corporate greedy. And the amount that they pay the people versus those sitting around making all the policies are making is very unbalanced. And the hiking of the prices, and it's not even about resellers. I don't expect anybody to price things so that I can make money on it. They need to price things where their market is, like where they can sell it. Does that work for resellers a lot of time? Yes, because we know the things that have value that they don't have time to look up everything. But the problem is they've gotten in on the game. Like they're like, oh, we're gonna get in on that, online reselling game too. And now they are pulling all the good stuff that they can find, and they're hiking the prices of the stuff that ends up in the stores, which hurts everyday people looking to find things on a budget. Some people don't have anything other than a Goodwill to go find pots and pans and, clothing to wear and those types of things. So that hiking of the prices hurts the people. Now, again, I get it. They're not in the business to provide anything to poor people. They're not in the business to provide good prices to resellers. I am fully aware of that. But they are also, and this was the big wake-up call for me. They are also absolutely overstuffed with goods to the point here in Las Vegas, 21 stores, okay, 21 stores, and a warehouse that has, the last number I was given was 19,000 gaylords of goods. What? That means you need to move stuff quicker. In my book, that means we have an abundance of inventory. How about we make our prices such that everybody comes and clears the shelves every day? That'd be my way of thinking about it. But they are kind of like working to get that every last dollar. And things are ending up in the landfill, which they're supposed to be very conscious of and making sure things aren't. I mean, they brag about it, like, oh, we prevented all this stuff from going to the landfill, but yet you didn't. You didn't, because you overpriced it. It didn't sell on the shelves. So you either trashed it or you sent it to the bins where it probably got broken, and then it ended up in the landfill. Yeah. Oh, thank you. In spirit praise. I appreciate that. Yeah, it can definitely be hit or miss on prices on stuff at Goodwill. Well, that's just it. That is where honing your skills in knowing what things they're going to miss, knowing what things they have to know something about it in order to know it's something that they should put a higher price on. It's, and I hate saying the words, I'm really good at it. That sounds like really arrogant, but I'm really good at it. I have spent 30 plus years of my life doing it. I come from a thrifting background. I mean, I grew up in the back of a thrift store, literally grew up in the back of a thrift store. My aunt was a pricer and a sorter, and I got the experience of doing that with her from a very, very early age. And so I have an advantage that most of the people who are in the back of a Goodwill pricing things don't have. And I get to utilize that, and I get to share that with you. But I'm all about you honing your skills, because I am sure you know things about things that I know nothing about too. And that's what makes this a beautiful business, is you can create your own niche from your own experience, from your own things that bring you joy and you love to learn about and really tune in, where somebody who's just pricing stuff wouldn't know that stuff. That is why I am the niche lady, not because I have like some super specific niche that I sell. It's a niche that works for me, but I like to teach you to build your own based on what is your knowledge? What do you know that the pricers at the back of the thrift stores don't know, that you can create a market that is desirable for? Thrift store employees have side deals with certain customers. Yep. Yes, they do. But that's just, I mean, that's always been a thing too. They hike prices at the bins. Yeah, I've noticed that they're even increasing the prices at the bins, which is just crazy to me. So same happening with estate sales, selling mainly to resellers, and half the house gets in dumpsters. I don't see that with the companies that I go to. I like the companies. I've picked the companies that I go to, and I didn't start really showing who they were in earlier video until I got to know them, until I had relationships with these companies and I knew their ethics and I knew how they were treating not only the stuff, but the people who own the stuff, the families. They really take care of the families, and that's important to me. But here they really are about pricing fairly, especially like on the second day. Yes, you can come in and wheel and deal. Yes, I can go in and say, how much if I buy everything? See, they love that. I mean, I would never do that on the first day of a sale, though. I would always only do that. Is that proper English? Only, always, only. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I would only do that on the second day, like the day that they need to clear the house. But estate sales are good because they need to clear the house. You know, you have an advantage there as a reseller, again, going in knowing what you know and knowing how much you can get for certain things and wheeling and dealing because they want it sold. It's not a store where they're going to like be stocked with merchandise for a long time. They're just there. They need it gone. Yep. You were subscriber shy. Thank you. Thank you. I've always known, let me back up a little bit. So I have had a little trouble in my YouTube career, I guess you would call it. A lot of the advice I get is stuff that feels very, not deceptive. That's not the right word, but overhyped. Like, trying to grab attention with thumbnails. And I know and I'm not saying I don't do it, because you have to do it. Nobody would click on your stuff if you didn't get their attention. But I poo-poo a lot of ideas too. I turn a lot of stuff down. It's like, no, I can't do that. I can't say that. That's not me. That's not what happened. Because for me personally, number one, I'm a horrible liar. Like, I've never in all of my life been a good liar. And I've learned that is because of my neurodivergence. Like, it's the ADHD that I have makes me very like, I need it to be factual. I need it to be what it is. I need everything to make sense. I need everything to be fair. I like all of these things now after, 59 years on this planet. I'm understanding why my brain works the way it does, which is, it's interesting. And then I'm like, oh man, would I have done things differently? I don't know if I would. Maybe I wouldn't have gotten so frustrated with myself. Maybe I would have understood why people don't understand me the way I think people should understand me, kind of stuff. But yeah, so I find like doing some of this scripted. Oh my goodness. You guys have seen, I'll just talk about this. So you've seen that I've been doing some ads. I've had some brands that do pay me to highlight their product or service. I am struggling so hard because they want a script. And then I have to wait until they approve the script. And then I have to film the video. And then they have to approve the video. And then I have to put it in a video. And then they have to approve that. And all of that is just like, I hate script. Can I just talk about it? Can I just pick up this bottle of Motrin and tell you why I use it? Because to me, I see somebody do that. I'm like, oh, that's way more believable than a script. You know what I mean? Like, it makes me crazy. You have so much stuff in Texas. Give stuff away the third day, especially furniture. Oh, I bet. Yes. Oh, awesome. There are 3 things I'm seeing with estate sale leftovers. They're either donating or selling the last in bulk to a dealer, or they're warehousing and selling it themselves for cheap. Yeah, no, absolutely. 100%. That is what is happening. I mean, they have to. Their job is to clear the house. So they're going to clear the house. And if you have a relationship and they have really good stuff, I got invited. You haven't seen the video yet, but I went to the sale on the last day, and it was an okay sale. I mean, I found stuff, but it wasn't like one of those like, oh, like the hoarder house where it's like there's so much stuff left. Like I could go back and do a live and find a whole box of stuff again. But I did get invited, to come back and see if there was anything else, that we could make a deal on. That's what happens if you have a relationship with people that you do business with on a regular basis. It's what I tell people that, they want to pop into my whatnot sales and they say, can I promote my show? Well, you kind of already just did. And I don't know who you are. And I know that the people, like, if I know who they are and we know each other, they're not needing to promote their show in my Whatnot sale, I will say, hey, I've bought stuff from that. I will do it naturally because we have a relationship. If we are in my school community together and you have a show, I'm going to promote your show. So business is about relationships, not just popping in and going, hey, like if somebody was to come in here in my chat right now and say, hey, everybody, I just put out a video, come and watch. That would be like, what? Don't do that. That is not how you grow in this business. And I think with AI being what it is, it's rapid growth right now. It is everywhere you turn. Every big company is turning to using AI, and it's distressing. At least to me, it is. I don't like it. I like talking to a person, but we also can't fight it. It's here. But I think that's also that not in person, but that personal touch that you can add to whatever marketplace you're selling on. The human language, the human pictures, all of that stuff is going to become way more appealing here very, very soon. Don't do estate sales there, mostly estate auctions. We have a lot of those here too. You have a really great estate sale company there in your area. Awesome. Yep. I don't sell on Whatnot, but if I did, I'd never ask on any channel I wasn't already a regular on, right? Right? Yes. Yes. So all of that to say, things are changing, and they're changing really fast. In the first, let's just call it 30 years. So the first half of my reselling adventure, things stayed pretty consistent. Like you could count on things to be what they were. You could count on, you list it and pretty much things are going to sell or they're going to get attention. And now in the last, I'm going to call it 6 years, because I think 2020 was that was the pivotal moment. That was the year that I believe changed everything and put everything on a rapid growth track for where we are now. And it's video. It is video selling, like we're seeing with Whatnot. It is the district, all the different marketplaces on the district, video selling. eBay's gone to video selling. Poshmark's gone to video selling. It's not doing really well on those sites, but it's there. Amazon's got video selling. All the big marketplaces have video selling. It's kind of where it's at. It is where we're going. It is the future, because I do believe this is why it's so appealing. Because you're in that face-to-face, and you don't have to be. Let me just preface that. Voice to voice, maybe. I don't know. You know what I'm saying, though? You're having a personal interaction in real time with a human being. And I think people are more and more being driven to that. And it's also a fast experience. It's also, I know I'm going to buy it. I see it on the screen. And now, my dopamine has been initiated and I'm happy. I popped into somebody's sale today and I saw like 4 things. Oh, I'm going to buy that and that and that and that. And then I'm like, okay, I need to stop. That was way too fun. But that is where we're at with reselling. Like it or not, we are moving into the wave of video selling. Now, I'm also super aware that if you are 50 plus, this can be a very uncomfortable thing. You probably just are like, why can't I just list it and do my thing? Why can't that just bring me the same thing? I get it. We are not the technology people. We are not everything we learn is learned the hard way. It isn't natural. It is like we have to teach ourselves new apps. I will tell you. So, and this has to do with my big announcement. So I have been setting up something new for you. And I was on a call with, I have a rep that I talk to with this new thing that I'm doing. And she's trying to talk me through how to set up, the interface and the this and the that and the graphics and the blah, 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 all the stuff you have to set up, right? And it's all AI driven. I mean, there is no just like, here, insert a picture. It's you have to talk to the AI to set this up. And she's 20 something. And she's just telling me, oh, you just go and you tell it blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I tell it blah, 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 blah. And it doesn't give me blah, 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 blah. I don't know how to speak AI. I was not born into the world of speaking AI. And I was just about in tears with her because she wasn't understanding that it doesn't come natural if you are not, number one, not a technology person, which I find a lot of my viewers are not technology people, but also they're just, the whole computer thing is unnatural to a lot of people that were born in a different generation. And the younger generations don't quite understand that. Because to them, it's so easy. You just do it. I have the great benefit of having a millennial daughter, and I don't know, what are they? Gen Z? Are you guys Gen Zs? I don't even know what you guys are. I'm talking to Noah. He doesn't know I'm talking to him. Whatever's after millennial. Like, what are the young 20s? I don't even know. But whatever they are, they're like, they were born into computers. They just know how to do. I was having trouble with my ring light. And he goes, let me problem solve that for you, Mom. Like, he just comes over and like fixes stuff. It's still a challenge. I can do it. Does it frustrate me? Oh, yeah. Yes. See, I think QVC and Home Shopping Network were kind of before their time. They did great. Don't get me wrong. Like, they are very successful, but they were like the precursors to something giant. And now they're not the standouts in the field. They're back there. They're still going. They still have their market, but they're not what people think of with video selling anymore. Yeah, Miss Jackie, that is one of the benefits is you get to talk about the item. You get to point out any flaws. You get to, even like talk about the history of it. And like, who doesn't want to know about a little sparkly disco ball that was bought for a naughty little bird who's absolutely terrified of it? So here it lives on my desk. And one day shall be sold. I don't want to be on camera at all, and I have a fear of the item not selling for what I need to sell it for. So let's talk about that word fear. Fear stops a lot of people from doing things. It stops me from doing things sometimes. Sometimes I just do it anyway. Got to be scared sometimes and just do it anyway. The beauty of where the live selling has gone is that you don't have to be on camera. You don't have to show your face. You can just show stuff in front of you on a screen and talk about it. If it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell. And again, I think this goes back to a lot of what Jordan and I have been talking about on the podcast. Our generation, we are people pleasers. We are taught, don't make anybody unhappy. Don't be selfish. Don't do this. Don't do that. You might upset somebody. You might offend somebody. You might this, you might that. And so it makes reselling scary because now we're afraid, I'm going to price this too high and it's going to hurt somebody's feelings, or they're going to be upset with me, or they're going to think I'm a loser, or they're going to think something about me. That's the piece I so want people to work through, because if you work through that, then sky's the limit. Like, if you can learn to overcome that worrying what others are going to think about what you're doing, the world just opens up to you. But I know it's hard. But it's, the school community that I have, the Reseller Revolution Network, it's not so much about like, here, you push this button and you do this, and this is how you set it up. That's not. It's a community of like-minded, I say women right now. We have had some men in the group, but it's mostly women. We are there to support, encourage, and build each other up in a very, very safe environment. And yes, get your questions answered. You talk about what something's worth, but really it's about those fears that keep us from doing the things that we either know we really want to do or that we need to do. A lot of people need to make money, and reselling is a great answer for that. And I know you can pop on a live sale. If you've got $100 electric bill due tomorrow, you can hop on a live sale and sell $100 worth of stuff and make your electric payment. So I get that is a big thing for a lot of people in this business too. So that's what I really love to support. I love to support that real mental aspect of it that stops you in your tracks, that fear, because I understand it really, really well. And I have learned to overcome it and do things scared. And I'm not saying you won't stop being scared. You will still be scared. But the more you do it, the less scared you get, the more natural it becomes. We are from the 1900s. It's a whole different world. It is a whole different world. Yep. I remember when microwaves were invented. I don't remember what year that was, but I remember. I'm a very visual remember. Like, that's like I can remember standing in my grandmother's kitchen and her saying, there is absolutely no way I am ever getting one of those contraptions. And she got a convection oven instead, because that was like her way of like, okay, I can't go with the microwave thing, but I can go with this convection oven kind of like thing. I so remember her just stomping her feet that there was no way she was ever getting a microwave. Now we can't even fathom a house without a microwave. Like, can we live without a microwave? I mean, yeah, we could, but do we want to? No. You feel so dumb when your grandson can fix an issue so easily when I can't figure it out. I've been technically challenged for many, many years, and it's just not my thing. Yeah, and you know what? Yes, absolutely. So Noah edits my videos. Like, he does the main layout, the music, the cuts, all of that. I go back through it and review, and I may add a comp here or there and do some stuff. And sometimes I will fat finger a button and I push something and then poof, something's gone. And I don't know how to get it back. And I'm just like, Noah, help. He comes out, puts it back for me. Like, and he tries to explain to me like what I did and how not to do it again. I'm like, forget it. It's going to happen again. But my mom was actually the first person that I taught via video to sell online. That was back when we had Skype. Remember Skype? Who had Skype? And so she was adamant that she was never going to be able to do it because she cannot figure out technology. And mom had a business that allowed her to stop working outside the home. She started just selling her yarn. She figured it all out. And figuring it all out doesn't mean you're never going to have issues and you're never going to have problems. That's where you surround yourself with a community, people to support you, people you can ask questions of, people that can be there to help you through it. Yep. She does do just fine. Absolutely. Yeah. You live without a microwave? Good for you. That's probably healthier. Indeed. I bought you your first microwave? I don't even remember that. I don't even remember that. That's funny though. But yeah, it's just like, that's how things go. So as with everything, if you stay the same, doing the same thing every day and expecting that it's just going to go on and that's going to be the way things are, you're going to end up in a place where you're either not making the money you used to, or you're working 3 times as hard to make the money that you used to, or you're not happy with how things are going, or the technology flat changes and you can't do it the way you used to. And so you constantly have to be thinking about, how do I evolve and go with all of these rapid changes? How do I do it? So you've witnessed me do a lot of these things over the years. I do tend to jump into new things, try them, and they're very public. And so then when they don't work out, it's also very public. So it's been a year ago that I laid the niche shopping network to rest for various reasons. Some of them were legal in reason. I had to get some things sorted out. But I am happy to announce, not only is the niche shopping network coming back in full force, I have found a way to include others who would. Now, this is the cool thing. You can sell live if you want to, but you don't have to. I am creating a marketplace. I'm using the district as my platform, and you will be able to come and list items, and they will be promoted by the niche lady. I will be able to send people over to the niche shopping network, and we will have the live selling YouTube channel. So if you don't have your own YouTube channel, you will have the ability to go live both on the district and on YouTube, so that you can take advantage of what I've built over the last several years. So I'm like super excited, getting all the last finishing touches in place, because my heart has always been about helping other resellers. And I want to do that. This is a way I can do it. I went through like the first round of this, and there was a lot of things that worked really well. And then there was some things that didn't work well. Not going to go into it. But I'm super excited because we are coming back stronger than ever. And I've also now got the school community for those who really want to deep dive and learn about reselling, video selling. You will have coaching from me, and you will have the questions answered on, how do I do this effectively? Or, what if I flop? You'll have that community of support. So I'm putting all of those pieces together for bringing in others who want to resell and have a safe place to do it. So I was hoping it would be live by the time I went live tonight. And there's still a couple of little things I have to do. But it should be this week. So please keep an eye on the Niche Shopping Network YouTube channel. I'll probably make the biggest announcement there. And also, if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, which is now, the newsletter is not on the nicheladyshop.com. It is on thenicheLady.com is where you will find my newsletter sign up. nicheladyshop.com is my Shopify store. Like, it's strictly for my reselling business. So I am also not intending to put my own items on. I'm not going to compete with you. My items are going to remain in my Shopify store, and the Niche Shopping Network is going to be for you guys to list things and go live if you want to on the platform, and for me to push awareness to your stuff and do that. So that's the plan. I will be doing live sales. They just won't be from listed items. I'll do like I do now, where I hold up. Did I ever show you guys my little 3D printed coaster that you put the drink on him anyway, stuff like that. So I would just hold up an item and sell it, kind of thing. So So let me know what you think. Let me catch up in the comments. It was like, I was really, really, really nervous to announce it. So it's not Knickknacks. That is somebody else's marketplace. Mine is Niche Shopping Network. It is the Niche Shopping Network. It's just hosted on that same platform that she has hers. Yep. Is the old channel still the same one? Yes. That channel will be alive and well very soon. So if you already subscribed there, you should get notification when we start putting videos there again. We are going to focus on, I think we're all pretty much like the antiques, collectibles, vintage, home decor. I don't do everything vintage, so home decor. Crystal, Rosie's Closet Crystal, will still be there with her vintage clothing. So clothing's going to be allowed. I want to make it a place. First and foremost, we want to make it a place where people want to shop, because it doesn't do any good to have a marketplace that people don't want to shop at. So we're going to work very hard together to make it a really fun, happy place for people to come and find things that bring them joy. So we're not going to do, I don't want to say we'll never do like trading cards. So like if you have like a little stack of Pokemon cards or something, but we're not going down that route. I'm not going to let anybody and everybody join and sell. You got to have something that enhances the marketplace as a whole, so that rising tides raise all ships, so to speak. I am so glad you guys are excited. I have really, really been working hard at this. It's part of why my videos have been a little different than usual. I'm also testing a few new things in my videos. So if you've seen a video and you absolutely hate what's happening in the video, like, don't despair. I'm not completely like changing. I read the data. Like I read your comments. I know when you hate something, believe me. But I'm also kind of excited. The video that's coming out tomorrow, I shop, but I shop with a purpose. And I'm really finding I love shopping with a purpose. Like, it's my new kind of happy place to be. And so what I do is I purposely shop for things that I can put together in little vignettes and things. And at the end, I do a reveal. So that's coming out tomorrow. I'm trying to have more fun with my business. I'm trying to have more fun in my life instead of work. I'm like, falling twice last week was such a wake-up call. It was like, Danny, you're not getting any younger, and you cannot keep working this hard and having this much stuff around. So I'm trying to get to where I can pare back some things and put more energy into other things, so that I'm not tripping over a bag sitting on the floor in my kitchen. I also want to travel more. I want to go see my grandbaby more. Like, it's so on my mind. I want to do that. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. A stepping stone turtle that does that? Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. J-Dog Lover, you'll have to go back and watch them from the beginning. No cheap imports. Yes, we're going to keep it classy. Did you guys ever figure out what CCC meant? I never saw. Sellers would ship their own items. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's also why I will have the Reseller Revolution Network. Is going to be very closely tied to those who need that extra help. Like, if you just need that hand holding through the process, you need, somebody to look and say, hey, did I do this right? I understand that. I love having somebody else look over my work and validate that, yes, this is good. No, this could, you could do a little bit better in this area. So that's why I have the school community. And then But it's not a requirement. You do not have to join the school community. It's there if you want it, if you want the extra support. They wanted $69.99 for a shirt. Holy moly. And it's only worth $25. Yeah. Yes, tax to infinity. That is my CCC. It's like, that's it. That's it. Yep, Susan got it too. It is what it is, right? Ah. Thank you. I'm excited. I'm excited to have not had to completely ditch the Niche Shopping Network, because what I started out with, the concept of that, I still want to continue. The concept of that was to help others build their reselling businesses without having to start from scratch with a YouTube channel and building the following. That was always my heart, is to take what I've been blessed with and use it to do good for others and spread the word. So that is what we're doing. It's a go. All right. That pizza is smelling really good. You guys, I've been torturing myself out car shopping. And I tell you, I don't think there's anything I hate more than car shopping. But the juice box is really, if I'm feeling old, that in car years and people years, that car's got to be like 150. And it's going, I can't make this walk anymore. No. So I have been car shopping, and man, the used car salesmen have not really changed much. The only thing that's different now is they grab your number like quick, and they are like, I got a car to show you. Oh, I hate it so much. I hate it so much. Oh, yay, Cindy, yay. But you got the announcement. You're car shopping too? I want a Toyota RAV4 hybrid XLE. I'd really, if I'm going to be picky, I'd love the blue one, but the blue ones are hard to find. I helped you overcome serious depression. Aw. I am so glad you have overcome it. Yep, depression's a liar. Just remember that. For anybody who needs that message, don't listen to yourself when you're depressed, because it's a liar. It's a liar. You just have to keep that in your head. They're good cars. I've rented one twice to drive to California. So I have driven one long distance twice now, and I still love it. And I love the cargo space. I love everything about it. I love the gas mileage. So I'm like, that's the car for me. Now I just got to find one at the right price. I can't, like, it's killing me to go back to having a car payment. I have not had a car payment for 4 years, because the juice box I pay cash for. And it's like, it's been good. It's been good to me, but it's time. It's time. It's time. But it's such a Chevy Trax. Yep, exactly. But it was the 80s. I believe it was the 80s where we started massively importing goods. And that really, like, there was a time in the beginning of eBay. So in the late 90s, early 2000s, if you saw something made from China or made in China, it was a turnoff. Like, oh, yeah, nobody's going to buy this. Now it's hard to find something that's not made in China. Like, it's crazy how much stuff is made in China. Truly. You have a 2018 Toyota RAV4. Really like it. Awesome. Yeah, I think the hybrid's the way to go for me, because I'm making these long trips every month now, pretty much. And so it's just going to make sense to have a hybrid. I won't go electric, though. I won't go electric. Research your favorite car. Walk in, tell them they have 15 minutes of your time. Work. Oh, I like that. I'm still such a softie, though. I'm still such a, like, I want to listen to their spiel and make them feel good, you know. So I probably will. I'll probably let them. I do tell them, I say, look, I was a salesperson before you were born. So I know all the things you're going to try on me. And really, the best way to sell me a car is just cut to the chase. Let's find the car. Let's figure out the financing and let's make a deal. And let's not. You don't need to convince me. I will convince myself if it's the right car. Trust me. I don't think they feel good giving their spiel. You don't? You don't? I think some do. I have dealt with so many of these cocky young men. It usually is. Never had this experience with a woman salesperson. It is these young guys who think they are the salesmen of all salesmen, and they know just how to get you, you know, to say the right things, to swoop you into that finance office. And the internet has changed a lot of that, though, too, because people are now, there are salesmen and things who now make videos teaching people how not to fall for all the things. So a lot of that's on TikTok, by the way. You have a Subaru Outback. Subarus are good cars. Subarus are good cars. You're in the middle of Top Shelf. What's the Cliff Notes? Kimbo Butterfly. I am relaunching Niche Shopping Network and going to have a place for all of you to have a marketplace that I will promote and help you get stuff sold. That's it in a nutshell. That's the Cliff Notes version. There is just a car salesman personality. Doesn't matter what job they're doing. That's true. That's true too. That is very true too. Indeed. So, all right. I thank you guys for being here tonight and listening to me talk for over an hour. I'm super excited to get this launched. I'm going to work hard on it. I, of course, will make an announcement on the channel. So no fear. I'm going to make sure you know when it's good to go, when it's live. You will apply to be a seller, provide some information, and then we're boogieing. We're doing it. So let's do this together, you guys. And with that, go be profitable and make it fun. We'll see you on the next one.